Hey guys, welcome to Shoe Store Update video number 1. So if you're new here, my name is Jake. I run the company That Fit Friend. I am opening up a performance-focused shoe store here in Austin, Texas. The goal is to hold barefoot shoes, cross-training shoes, and weightlifting shoes in store and have a squat rack deadlift platform allow you to test them and give you an experience and an immersive experience at that, tied in with the expertise of the shoes that I recommend and that you're looking into buying. A lot of these shoe stores don't carry barefoot shoes. They don't carry the smaller brand cross-training shoes, weightlifting shoes, etc. So I really want to double down on building out a store that has all the shoes that I like to wear and a lot of my lifter and athlete friends like to wear. And so I want to film these videos for 3 reasons. Number 1, I think as a business owner, I get in my head and I look at my peers at times and I think everybody else is doing so much more than me or moving a mile a minute. I'm not getting anything done. That I think it's tough at times to recognize the little wins. And so these videos for me are a place to talk about the little wins and the things that I'm learning along the way, some pitfalls, some mistakes that I make with this journey. And that way I can hopefully keep some momentum on the store and just interact with you guys and share what's going on, because I want to build this in public. I want everybody to know exactly what's going on the storefront, because it is a lofty goal and a big task. And I am so new to all of this. The second reason why I want to put these videos together is I don't want to get to the end goal of this season of life. So let's say when the store opens and not be able to look back at, the trials and tribulations along the way. These videos are a way for me to not only connect with you, but to also just share what I experience. And then that way I can go back and look at things and appreciate it more, because I think at times I get so much focused on the end destination that I don't appreciate the journey along the way. And so filming these, I'm basically trying to force myself to appreciate the present more. And even though things might be stressful in this moment, I can hopefully look back at this video in a year and just kind of smile and be like, oh my God, you were so awkward and you made that mistake and like what's going on there? But at the same time, like look at how far you've come and grown. And I think that's really cool. And I wish more folks would do that, because I feel like I've lived a lot of my years in this life not necessarily being the best at being present and always being goal and end destination driven, that I really want to make sure I document the process along the way here. The third reason why I want to film these videos is if you are thinking about starting a retail space and you have no experience in doing so, or if you just want to start a business and you have been on the fence of, should I sink in my teeth and dive into it or should I not, yada yada. Hopefully these videos can help either inspire or share insights into what I learned along the way, so you can avoid some of these pitfalls, or hopefully inspire you to just jump in and start your business. Because again, I don't have a background in retail spaces. I am learning so much every single day, every single week, that I have started this venture and this goal, and I'm trying to pick as many brains as possible. And so it's been a really fun process doing that. So hopefully I can find the right audience to connect with new subscribers, but then also my current subscribers. I would just want to share what I'm doing. I want to build in public for y'all so you can see exactly what's going on behind the brand. But this week has been huge. A lot of little wins. There are a lot of little things starting to fall in place that it's kind of crazy thinking about. I'm like, this is actually going to be a thing. So what were some of the little wins we hit this week, and what were some of the things I have learned? All right, so this week there have been 3 wins that I want to talk about. So one of my first projects has been kind of pooling together a spreadsheet of companies that I want to do outreach for to gauge interest in having their products held in store. And so what I think is going to be the play here is, as opposed to trying to get every single shoe I have reviewed, etc. in store, I'm going to try to just have a smaller amount of training shoe brands, barefoot shoe brands, and weightlifting shoe brands. And then that way it's a little bit easier, I think, to tackle getting inventory for all of these shoes, but then also having those conversations. And I think, truthfully, as the store gets up and running, more brands will actively seek me out to be in store. So my thought is start a little bit smaller and then build from there. So some wins regarding that outreach is I haven't even done a ton of strategic, hey, here's a long form email of what's happening, just kind of folks that I know in the industry, and just sending brief emails here and there with people I've already been talking to. Is I've already gotten 8 brands to verbally convey interest and kind of loosely commit to being in the store. And 4 of these brands are huge, bigger than I would have ever thought I would be on the radar of, but they reached out to me and they're like, this is a sick project. Let us know when you want to have a conversation, and you're 2 or 3 months out. So kind of unbelievable thinking about. And so that is one of the little wins this week, which is That Fit Friend, despite, being a smaller brand in my mind, is on the radar of some of these shoe companies. And it's honestly kind of mind blowing. The second little win is I've shared more on social media what I'm planning on doing and on YouTube, and just the community comments have been unreal. The amount of folks that are pulling for the store and the brand and me to make this work, it's kind of unreal. And I think at times because I do have negative self-talk that I'm working on. I get in my head and I'm like, nobody likes the brand, nobody likes me, like nobody will want to support this. But then seeing that, I've gone back to those comments twice already this week to, read them and just kind of remind myself, hey, people are pulling for you. Even people you have never met are pulling for you. Build it the right way, do it the right way, and be a good person, and the right people will come into your circle and support you. And I really do appreciate all of the community comments and everybody who's just here even watching this video, just engaging and just, following along the journey. Like I couldn't do any of this without y'all. So that is a little win for sure. The third little win is I have a conversation today with somebody who works at a very established brand who is building retail spaces and what I would call one of the cooler brands regarding, when you buy their stuff, you just feel good about it. Like they give you that feeling of like, oh, like I'm rocking this and I'm proud to rock this or have this thing. I don't want to disclose the company because I'm not sure if I can do that. But essentially, I'm talking to their retail space like builder. So the guy who basically looks at all the retail spaces, plots out what they should look like, and does all that strategy. Talking to him about some of the pitfalls and things that he's learned along the way. So just getting in front of more folks who have done it before and picking their brains to avoid pitfalls that I would not necessarily know without asking is a little win as well. So the 3 wins this week include number 1, 8 shoe companies have already conveyed interest in being held in store. Number 2, y'all, you guys are a huge win. Like seriously, I appreciate you. And then number 3, being able to have a conversation with somebody who's kind of already done it for multiple brands. And he's also worked for shoe brands too. And I can't disclose who, but being able to talk to him and kind of learn things and being able to pick his brain about what he's learned along the way and some pitfalls and stuff, that should be hugely helpful for helping me to, not run into walls that others have already hit and gone through. All right, so 3 lessons I've learned, and I sat down on the ground to stretch my hamstrings and film this bit. And of course, Maui had to come see what's up. Can't have a vlog without you, buddy. 3 things I've learned this week. Number 1, big shoe companies often require you to have a brick and mortar before they'll let you sell online. So it's very few, I think, big companies, and I think that FitFriend hopefully will be a little bit of an anomaly there just because of the already established presence. But I think it will be tougher to get some of these really big companies to buy into letting me sell their product online before I have the brick and mortar. So that's been a thing that I've learned is I thought everybody would just be like, yeah, like sure, right away. But so that was a lesson that I'm actually really glad that I've learned early on because that way I don't prematurely ask some of these companies or at least pitch them the idea before it really comes to fruition. The second thing I've learned is with retail spaces, triple N means triple net, which basically means that you pay into the taxes and the amenities and everything within retail spaces also on top of your rent. So not only in Austin, for a lot of the spots I'm looking at, do I have to be concerned with the just straight up rent price based off square footage price, but I also have to add on and account for that there will be an extra fee with the triple net. Basically, I'm splitting all of the costs with the building with the other retailers and companies or businesses in that space. So did not realize that, but it's good to know because my landlord, who also does some commercial real estate, was just like talking me through some of the basics. And he was like, yeah, he's like, account for extra money. And he's like, also pay attention to escalations, which are basically after every year, you can see before you sign the contract in most cases, like how much they plan to increase your rent. So you want to be very careful to not sign a lease with somewhere that's like going to absolutely wreck you with an escalation after like a year or 2 years, etc. The third lesson I've learned is branding, I think for the brand needs to be reworked and redone in the sense that it needs to kind of level up. And so we can call this a lesson or we can call this a learning, I don't really know, but I think where the brand is at, it's good regarding the branding. There is some cohesive flow, but like I built my logo 3.5 years ago in Canva with Nikki, who was my ex-girlfriend at the time. And so I think it's time we level it up because I really want to make sure that the messaging and the branding on the site flow well with social, but then also flow well with brick and mortar. And I think my inability to be objective at times with appearance and branding and whatnot, especially from like an interior decoration standpoint, if you saw my room right here, you'd be like, oh, we get it. We understand why you struggle there. It's going to be really useful to do that. And I think having 2 people actually come to me this week and be like, hey, you should consider a rebrand or like think about rebranding if you're going to do this because it is a much bigger thing than what you've already built. That's been a good lesson to learn, which is, hey, I need to invest and really invest into professionals in the branding space that know better than me regarding tying all of these things together. So little wins, some lessons along the way. It's been a good week for the store build out. If you have any questions on this update, drop a comment down below. I will be fully open and transparent about what's going on. And so that wraps up the wins and the lessons learned in week 1. I'm sure these are gonna get way more complex as time goes, but until next time, I will see you guys. If you like this one, drop a like down below. I'm trying to teach Maui sit pretty right now, and he is not the best at learning it because I feel like he's built like a potato and he just doesn't balance on his butt as well as other dog breeds like golden retrievers and whatnot, but we're working on it. That's all I have to say, y'all. Drop a like on the video, drop subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you have any questions on anything in this video, drop a comment down below and I'll be fully open and transparent with you on whatever it is. But yeah, I'll see you guys.